Okay, so let me explain something to you guys.
One of the first things I always do is write down my comment goals.
So what?
If I read my plan and my script back and I think, nobody in their right mind would say that, I keep working on it until I think I'll get that reaction.
Can you do this thing? Actually, I can.
This is how I organize my second brain. Getting things done was eye-opening for me. It was the first book that introduced me to the personal productivity system. Building a second brain expands on that premise and is updated for 2022. Now with the cloud, we can take notes anywhere, and this book introduces the optimal methodology for taking and storing notes. I would highly recommend you check Ali Abdaal's video about building a second brain because he offers the most concise introduction to how the methodology works. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing some of my highlights from the book and also let you look at how I organize my second brain. An important lesson that I took from the book is begin with the end in mind.
One of the first things I always do is write down my comment goals. So if you don't know what that is, that's what I want people to write in the comments after they've watched the video. And what it does is, if I read my plan and my script back and I think, nobody in their right mind would say that, I keep working on it until I think I'll get that reaction.
Shift as much of your time as possible from consuming to creating. I cannot overstate how much time I've spent watching YouTube videos and by comparison how little time I've spent actually making videos. The modern world that we live in rewards the creators, not the consumers. The feedback you receive will propel your thinking forward like nothing else. Big projects and goals become less intimidating because you can just keep breaking them down into smaller and smaller pieces, and you can get earlier and better feedback on those smaller parts. We sometimes forget that we have control over the scope of the project. We can dial it down to a more manageable size, and we must if we ever want to see a project to completion. And another one of the best reasons for keeping our projects small is so we get a fulfilling sense of completion as often as possible. When you encounter an idea that resonates with you, it is because that idea reflects back to you something that is already within you. We only know what we make. Ideas are merely thoughts until we put them into action. So when you do get an idea, and you want to take a note, you've got to ask yourself the question, how can I make this as useful as possible for my future self? You're allowed to reference your notes whenever you want, provided that you took them in the first place. Here's a paragraph from this book. I'm going to read through the paragraph and then bold everything that I think is most relevant. And then from everything that I've put in bold, I'm then going to highlight certain passages. At the top of the document, I have an executive summary where I put some of these highlights so that I can quickly synthesize the most relevant points of the book. When a project has stalled, you can always pick it up later with minimal effort. It's very empowering to realize that you can put a project in cold storage and let go of the mental toll of having to keep it in mind. I don't have to make constant progress on everything all the time. In this clip, Dr. K presents one of my favorite examples of this.
But what if it feels bad if I leave 10 projects unfinished? Okay, so let me explain something to you guys. This is my notebook. Just one. There are lots of ideas in here. 9 out of my 10 projects are unfinished. So what? So I had I've had so many projects that are half complete, and when the community needs something, I'm like halfway done. It's great. I have all these projects, and they're halfway done. And I don't finish them until someone shows up and is like, hey, can you do this thing? And that's like, you know what? Actually, I can.
Notice that he says halfway done instead of unfinished. It's just a quick little change of semantics, but it can make all the difference. Now I'm going to introduce my system. The home screen on my phone has a Google Keep widget, so I can take text notes, make checklists, take voice notes, or do any quick sketches or drawings. I also have my Google Calendar and my Google Drive shortcut. Inside my Google Drive, I have 4 main folders: projects, areas, resources, and archives. I base new projects on this placeholder document. When I first read Getting Things Done, that was a lifesaver for me. It really helped to get my brain organized in a way that I had never done before. Building a second brain is the most logical extension to that, the best updated version that you can use. So I would definitely highly recommend this book if you're into personal management and productivity, and I think it's probably the best starting point that you can have before you start advancing on other books and other project ideas. I recommend you start with this one. Thank you for watching.